is October 5th already. It's Thursday. Good morning. Welcome to THG News Today. I am Mervyn Hanley with the news this morning. And of course, you know that the news is brought to you with the kind of compliments of Carl & Sons on St. Martin. Let's hear from Carl & Sons and we'll be right back with the news in detail. Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Martin for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are two locations, Colbay and on the Punfill. In Colbay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Punfill, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Colbay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. Tropical storm Philippe did a number in the British Virgin Islands. Flooding was reported in Rowtown, Hunton's Gut, Seacows Bay, and West End. There are reports of cars being partially submerged on Fleming Street in Rowtown. There have been no reports of injuries. Let's hear from our colleagues at 284 News for this report, as they were able to speak to a few government ministers who were out in the community assisting with the cleanup.
Roads are now passable in the town area, and just visiting those persons that needed some assistance, reached out to Red Cross and come and assist them when they are allowed to come out and assist. So I made some assessments on their behalf, and I will share that information shortly with them.
Well, I think most of the roads are cleared by now. We had some portions who are actually flooded, and we're actually trying to, make sure that they're safe. But all in all, I think we fared pretty well based on the rainfall overnight.
Well, the school, based on the area where the school is, it's in the heart of town. We saw the bus that overflowed on this one right here next to the school. This school receives, this part of the school receives significant damage because of the gut that is literally right next to it.
Wow, look at water, look at flooding for just that tropical storm. We ought to be happy, and give thanks, because if Philippe was a stronger storm, a hurricane, a category 2, 3, or 4, or 5, my God, I just can't imagine the destruction and the havoc and the pain and the hardship, because just for a tropical storm with 45 to 50 miles per hour winds, and look at the damage. Just look at the damage. We move now to news out of Nevis. Former Premier of Nevis, Honorable Joseph Parry, in an interview with yours truly, spoke about his biggest disappointment while in office and still hurts him today. The former Premier explained that there was a time the then General Manager of the Four Seasons Resort refused to pay into the Treasury coffers the taxes owed by the Four Seasons, and he had to threaten the hotel that if they do not pay, their water and lights will be disconnected. Let's hear more from former Premier, the Honorable Joseph Parry.
In your own country, you have to come first.
Yes.
And for some reason, some people didn't seem to understand that then. I think they do now. And then, when the Four Seasons reopened, and the manager then was withholding the tax that was due to the people of Nevis, I strategized. It was a Friday night that I will go over to Fountain and threaten him.
I remember you did. I remember that meeting.
Yeah, and I told him the money must be in the treasury by Monday. Otherwise, I will have to take action. The money was in the treasury by the Monday. But the unfortunate thing, Marvin, was that many of the workers at Four Seasons were angry with me because they said I threatened their jobs.
Oh, wow.
They forgot that Four Seasons came under NRP. I was the minister, Mr. Daniel was the Premier of Nevis. They forgot that the Four Seasons was closed by Omar. And the measures that we took to have the Four Seasons reopened and the name brand to remain in Nevis. If they had confidence in their black leader, if they had confidence in their black leader, they would understand that I must have known that the Four Seasons would not walk away. People do not walk away from profits.
Right.
People do not walk away from making money. And so I was able to make that position, but Nevisians did not see that. In fact, what is interesting is that the people of NSYNC congratulated me for standing up for Nevisians when the Nevisians let me go. That was one of the major disappointments I had as leader of this country.
I listened to the former premier, and what I hear is a man who was fighting for his people, a man who stood up for his people, defended his people. And I guess some did not see it that way. And there was this confusion that what the former premier was doing, he was taking bread out of the mouths of employees of Four Seasons. And he's right. Why would he do that when they brought the Four Seasons? He was the Minister of Tourism back in 1992 when Four Seasons was opened, just a couple of years before that, when Jaltas was there building the hotel. It was the Nevis Reformation Party. It was former Premier Parry, led by the late Sir Simeon Daniel. So Parry was only fighting. Parry always believed that it was Nevis first. You have a conversation with him. It was always Nevis and Nevisians first for Mr. Parry. And I wish that we can, I wish we can have more leaders who can think that their people, yes, we respect other cultures, other nationalities, but Mr. Parry fought for his people. And that was his sin. And finally, in our news this morning out of Anguilla, at a government press conference held earlier this week, the renderings of the new Clayton J. Lloyd Airport Terminal were presented. In a recorded announcement, Premier Ellis Lorenzo Webster described it as a beautiful edifice fit for purpose that would attract more visitors to Anguilla. He said that part of the funding is from the British government, £12 million sterling, but mostly it has been paid for by the Anguilla government's reserve fund and amounts to 279 million EC dollars. This is approximately $128 million US dollars in total. Minister of Infrastructure and Tourism, the Honorable Hayden Hughes, said that the planned date for the commencement of the construction of the airport terminal is January 2nd, 2024. He said the extension of the runway would take place the following year. The plan for a new airport has been long waiting, according to Hughes, noting that it was a vision of the late Ronald Webster and the late Hubert Hughes. The airport was renamed by former Minister Evan Gums in 2010 when it became the Clayton J. Lloyd International Airport. He said he was proud that the next chapter of its development is now here. Let's hear more from the Honorable Hayden Hughes.
It gives me great pleasure to unveil the Anguilla reimagined plans for the Clayton J. Lloyd International Airport Terminal. For almost 50 years, the idea of a commercial international airport that can accommodate flights from the United States of America, Canada and Latin America and further afield was a talking point. The vision of the Honorable James Ronald Webster and the dying wish of the Honorable Hubert Benjamin Hughes to bring about this sort of development that could propel the sort of economic activity that would make Anguilla an economic giant among the Caribbean is now being manifested. This is the promise of a new Anguilla. On July the 4th, 2010, former Minister Evan Gums renamed the airport after aviation pioneer Clayton J. Lloyd. And today, I stand proudly with humility to state that the next chapter of Anguilla's development is here. We meant it when we said change could not wait, and the prosperity and resilience that would make our people prosperous and resilient for generations to come is here.
That was the Minister of Tourism and Infrastructure of Anguilla, the Honorable Hayden Hughes. Well done, Anguilla. Well done. Well done. And that's our news for today. You can join me again tomorrow morning, the same time, for a similar presentation. The news, of course, is sponsored by Carl & Sons Bakery on St. Martin. Let me say good morning to the folks there at Carl & Sons Bakery. They're always logged on to THG News Today and anything THG Network. I am Mervyn Hanley, and I'm saying God bless you and have a good day.